Guilt is a burden. Guilt is a weight. Good morning to each and every one of you. Rise and shine. You have been given another day. And my goal is for us to dive into a subject matter that will help us to understand and appreciate the fact that as we move forward, whatever is trying to hold us back, we're letting it go. Come on. This morning, I want to challenge you to make a commitment to let go of anything that you've been carrying. Now, here's the deal. In order for you to let go, you have to also learn to let go. Everybody, Melissa, everybody does. They don't know, Miss Sybil, how to automatically let go. Okay? If you're going to progressively move forward, you're going to have to accept the fact that guilt is real, but guilt must be managed in a way where you're accepting some responsibility for what may have happened, but you're not going to allow it to be the thing that brings you to your demise. Okay, you got to learn to let it go. So today I want to focus on this whole subject of learning to forgive yourself. On your journey to living life effectively, you have to know when to let it go. You have to know how to forgive yourself. Okay, your goal is to get better. Your goal is to get better. I teach getting better in every area of your life needs to be a part of your daily agenda. Every week, you need to look at yourself and say, am I getting better? I want to get better so that I can bring greater glory and honor to God. And so forgiveness is a critical part of you living your best life. Why forgiveness? Forgiveness, what's this? Forgive yourself for the failures because you're going to experience some failures. You're going to experience some things that it didn't go the way you wanted it to go. But here's the deal. It should not become the thing that keeps you away from maximizing your potential. It is easy to forgive others than it is to forgive ourselves. Oftentimes, we've learned to forgive others. We have not learned to forgive ourselves. So I want about 10 of you to declare this morning, I'm learning to forgive myself. I'm learning to let it go. Okay, Jocelyn, you just get to the point where you say, I'm learning to forgive myself. I make mistakes. I make mistakes. I don't have it all together. You know what is extremely liberating? Oh my God, Elizabeth, it's very liberating to know that you don't have it all together. We need not try to act like we have it all together, Kendrick. Don't act like you have it all together. We don't have it all together. I don't have it all together. You don't have it all together. So I'm learning to forgive myself. Oh, yesterday I made a mistake. Tashika, last weekend I made a mistake. Oh, last month I made a mistake. Oh, here's the deal. You will ruin a very perfect day by bringing the unforgiving factors into a new day that has the opportunity to be a beautiful day. That's the reason why I believe that it is very important that you learn to let it go. It is easier to forgive others than to forgive ourselves. People often, I'm angry about me, I made a mistake, oh my goodness, and it's always, you're attacking you because you haven't learned to deal with you. In this season, I'm learning to deal better with me. I'm in control of my emotions. I'm learning to manage that emotion even more. I'm in control of my emotions. You can't make me feel bad. You can't make me angry. And I am now learning how to even make myself control how I decide to be angry, sad, glad. I am learning how to control the factors in my mind where I'm learning who I am and accepting certain truths. And I understand my triggers. Hello. I understand my regrets. I'm understanding where I fail. I'm understanding my limitations and becoming a better me. How many of you can say that with confidence? I am becoming a better me. Now, if the truth be told, if God were to give you, okay, 10 more years, 20 more years. How many of you can say with confidence, I am becoming a better me? Okay, I am becoming a better me. And it's okay to make baby steps. Every day you're not going to feel great, but every day you're going to make progress. Every day you're not going to get it right, but every day you're going to discover one thing to do a little bit better. That's what I teach within the effective living model. Your life is not going to come back together and be perfect like you dreamt it to be all in a day because you've chosen to get your life together. It's not going to just automatically come together. It's going to take work. It's going to take work. I'm 46 years old. And some of the things that I did, I've been doing it for so long, so wrong, that it's going to take some time for me to get it back on track to a point where it is all looking like I want it to look. So for those of you who are watching and you're engaged with the process of chipping away, because effective living makes it's pushed around making a commitment, Jocelyn, you got it correctly. Daily progress. Daily progress. If you made progress every day, one little adjustment, 1% adjustment every day, by the end of the year, you would find yourself almost being a completely different person. But you have to make the commitment to stay locked in. Stay locked in. In other words, self-forgiveness is a key component to self-compassion. You got to learn to love yourself. A lot of us, we love everybody else, but we really don't love us. Okay? We have not taken the time to learn to love us. You've not taken the time to learn to love you. In this season, you got to live to the point where you realize you can't give what you don't have. And so self-forgiveness is a key component to self-compassion. So I'm going to learn to forgive me. Hello. I'm going to learn to forgive me. You owe it to yourself to forgive you. Okay, I didn't do well in elementary school and middle school. I didn't do well in college. Okay, in my early 20s, I didn't do well. Okay, I didn't do well in marriage. Oh, I didn't do well on the job. I didn't do well with my small business. I didn't do well in serving on that committee. Stop beating yourself up and make a commitment to move on beyond that place where you felt as though I didn't do that well. So you owe it to yourself to forgive yourself, to free yourself from anger towards events you cannot control and people you cannot change is critical. It's very, very important. Forgiveness is not just for other people. You got to get that in your head. Forgiveness is not just for other people. Forgiveness is for you too. Forgiveness is for you too. And so when you forgive yourself, you acknowledge that you made a mistake. Like we're all humans. You're like other humans. We all make mistakes. Then you look to the future without letting the mistake define you. How many of you can say with confidence this morning, I am not going to allow the mistakes in my life to define me? Jocelyn, did you hear that? Hey? Hey, did you hear that, Jamal? Did you hear that, Herman? I am not going to let the mistakes that I've made in my life define me. That's a decision. And oftentimes it is something that you have to now learn how to do what you need to do on your journey to living the rest of your life as the best of your life. I am not going to let my mistakes define me. Okay? No, I'm not going to allow it. So you have to, watch this. You grant yourself love and kindness by accepting your imperfect self. You grant yourself love and kindness by accepting your imperfect self. I told my son a few months ago, I don't have it all together, but I'm a growing man. I'm a learning person. I'm a lifelong learner. Okay, as a leader, I claim not to have it all together. As a father, I claim not to have it all together. As a friend, I claim not to have it all together. Come on, man. As a pastor, I claim not to have it all together. You grant yourself love and kindness by accepting your imperfect self. When you could say with confidence and not arrogantly, you're not trying to make a point to anybody, you're trying to accept a truth within you. This is not something that you make noise on the rooftop, Miss Tina, just for the world to know. This is something you just walk in the room with confidence, and when you discover that you didn't know, you simply accept it as that. I didn't know. And I'm not going to beat myself up forever. Hello. Come on, somebody. I'm not going to beat myself up forever. Hey, Miss Cynthia, come on. Declare it right now. I'm not going to beat myself up forever. I made a mistake. That's what it is. I'm going to label it that, and I'm going to move on from it. So, self-forgiveness involves 4 key steps that I want us to dive into this morning. I believe that you and I have the ability to make corrections to our lives on a daily basis to bring us to a place where we've always wanted to be, and that is a better place. That is a better place. I've made some mistakes, and I'm moving on. Okay? I'm not going to beat myself up forever. No. Some of you guys already have this thing figured out. I'm not going to beat myself up at all. Right? but to each his own. You just got to know. People beat themselves up all the time because people make mistakes all the time. And you got to learn how to accept the fact that mistakes are inevitable. You are not perfect. You're not going to have it all together. So it's very important that first you start off with that. If you have children, you let them know I'm not perfect. You got a spouse, you let them know I'm not perfect. You're on a job. And let me tell you something. There are some people who will try to beat you up with making that statement. But let me tell you something. More about you saying it to you than you allowing yourself having to say it to others. Because some people will try to use that against you. Now, I'm not saying I'm not perfect and I'm going to stay there. When I tell you I'm not perfect, I'm also telling you I'm a student. I'm a student at life. I'm a student at fatherhood. I'm a student as a husband. I'm a student as a pastor. I'm a student as a friend. I am a student. I am going to be considered a lifelong student. Miss Phyllis, do you feel me this morning? I'm a student, John Wells. I'm a student. And so, unfortunately, the people who dismiss me eternally because of a mistake I've made in one season, they miss the better me. Because the mistake I made doesn't define me. The mistake I made was a period in my life where it is what it is. And I'm learning to move beyond the mistakes I've made. And oh my goodness, listen, my better days are in front of me because I am a lifelong student. Yeah. Come on. I want you to declare that this morning. Say it in the atmosphere, Kendrick. Say it in the atmosphere, John Wells. I am a lifelong student. I am not willing to keep moving forward without accepting the fact that I don't know what's all built in the forward factors. Okay? In other words, I don't know what the future holds. And if it's one thing we can all accept as truth in regards to the future, is that everything is changing. Okay? Change is inevitable. And so being a lifelong student sets you up. Oh my goodness. Being a lifelong student sets you up to win. Now, you know who's going to lose? The person who is unprepared to accept the truth that everything is going to continue to change. And if you don't change with the change, then you're going to find yourself losing. Let's talk about the 4 key components to self-forgiveness. Number 1, write these down. Write these down. Okay? Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility. I know somebody, I'm glad he mentioned that. I'm glad we need people to take number 1, take responsibility for your actions. Key word here, Elizabeth, key word here, Herman, is your actions. Key word here is your actions. Okay? Take your actions. Your actions today needs to be looked at because your actions is creating your life. Your actions this week, you need to look at and assess your actions. What did I do with activities this week that I could have done better or I did wrong, but I need to learn from? Come on, take responsibility for your actions. Oh my goodness, we live in a society where it's all the pointing the finger game. It's a pointing the finger game. And I'm telling you, life at its best is lived at a place where when you accept responsibility for you, your life goes to a whole nother level. When you start to understand that you need to pay attention to what you say, what you do, what you think, where you go, everything about you, it starts with you. All right? So number one, take responsibility for your actions. Now, you can't take responsibility for your actions if you're not paying attention to your actions. Okay? You can't take responsibility for your actions if you're not paying attention, okay, to your actions. That's correct, Ashko. What could I have done better? We talked about that earlier this week. Okay? What could I have done better? So take responsibility for your action. Oh my goodness, I didn't do well with my money, but I'm not going to beat myself up about my money. Oh my goodness, I didn't finish college, but I'm not going to beat myself. I quit college. Oh, it was that boyfriend of mine. It was that girlfriend of mine. It was my parents. Oh my goodness, if it wasn't for the government. No. I chose to quit school. Oh, I chose to date this person. Oh, I chose to buy that car. That's a lemon. Oh, I made the final decision. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take responsibility for my actions. So the Bible said, be slow to speak, swift to hear. So now I'm going to be a lot more sensitive. Moving forward, I'm going to be a lot more sensitive. Sensitive not in the fickle feelings, sensitive in my discernment. Sensitive in my understanding of I have to pay attention to the decisions I'm making. Hello, write that down. I have to pay attention to the decisions I'm making. Why, Coach Ricardo Miller? I have to pay attention to the decisions I'm making because the decisions I'm making is creating my life. Woo! Did y'all catch that? The decisions I'm making is creating my life. So I have to pay attention to my decision. Oh my goodness, Coach, you don't understand. I'm frustrated. I have to be in traffic for an hour. But you know, in traffic for an hour, you can put on your audio Bible and listen to the word, you know, and feed your spirit. And somebody said, well, you were in traffic for an hour, but I was also in study. Hey, come on. I was also getting the word of God in my head and in my heart. And I use the time. Or you say, hey, I didn't talk to my mom in a long time. I haven't talked to my son in a long time. While I was in traffic, I was calling my son. While I was in traffic, I was talking to my mom. You say, I don't have time to pray. While I was in traffic, I was praying. You better learn how to take responsibility for your actions. That's number one. Number two, express remorse and regret without letting it transform into shame. We're talking about self-forgiveness involves 4 key components, Pastor Brother Claire. So the number one is take responsibility for your actions. Number 2 is express remorse and regret without letting it transform into shame. Now, let me tell you something. That's going to take skill. Oh my goodness, am I not learning this one right now in this season of my life where I had to look back and say, you know what? There are moments where you have to express remorse and a level of regret, and you have to now accept it was a failing moment. It didn't go well, but you cannot allow it to turn itself into shame. You cannot allow it to turn itself into regret, to guilt that now sits on you and suppress your potential. Number 3, commit to making amends for any harm you have caused. Okay? Number 3, commit to making amends for any harm you may have caused. Why? Because in your mistakes, you've made some harm. You've affected some people. So I had to tell my son, I had to tell my daughter, I had to tell my wife, I had to tell the boss, I had to tell a friend, listen, hey, I didn't do it right. Okay? I didn't do it right. My apologies to that. I mean, listen, man, I messed up. I wasn't as good as I should have been. As a matter of fact, I look better than I actually was. Hello. And I'm not going to try to put up a front. I'm not trying to look good. I want to be good. Hello? I don't want to just try to force my way to making myself seem as though I'm right. I want to be healthy. And healthy sometimes means me accepting wrong to ensure that the betterment of this life that I'm building is going to move in the right direction. So just go ahead and just make amends with the harm. You've done somebody wrong, you should apologize. You should say, hey man, I was wrong. If I could correct it, I would. Because last one, number 4, guys, is practice self-acceptance. Number 4, practice self-acceptance and trust yourself to do better in the future. Let me say it again. Practice self-acceptance. It has to be practiced because a lot of people don't have an automatic understanding on the role self-acceptance play. But self-acceptance isn't you accepting that you're not good at. Self-acceptance is this is what happened and it's my fault. But now you need to trust yourself to do better in the future. I am going to do better in the future. I'm going to do better in the future. Hello. How many of y'all can declare that right now? I'm going to do better in the future. Today, I'm going to do better. Tomorrow, I'm going to do better. Hello. This new month that we're about to go into, September, I'm going to do better. My goal is to do better. Everybody declare it. I'm going to do better. But you have to practice self-acceptance. You have to make a commitment to trust yourself to do better. Some people don't. Some people haven't worked on themselves enough to trust themselves. You got to learn to trust yourself. You got to learn to have a level of self-acceptance that I got this with the help of God. You cannot go back in time and fix your mistakes. Okay? You get it in your head. You just got to get it in your head. You cannot go back and fix your mistakes. But what you can do is you can learn from them and forgive yourself for not knowing better. For not knowing better. Some people, Miss Cynthia, some people, John Wells, say, oh, I should have known better. Oh, I should have known better. I can't believe I did that. Hey, okay. You should have known. Should have. You should all over yourself. You should all over yourself. You should all over yourself, right? So here's the deal. Here's the deal. You know how many things I should have? Somebody say, well, by this age, you should have known. My God, by this age, a lot of things. By the educational system should have known how to adapt itself to working with students. The police department should have known how to make evolve it. Churches should have known. Everybody has some should have known. But I'm a lifelong student. I'm a lifelong student, and you should be a lifelong student. And this whole thing of guilt, suppressing the greatness within us, has lasted too long around so many of us that we're losing precious time. Write this down. Days are expensive. A day wasted is a day you will never have again. So yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Come on, that's a song. Yeah, so I want to learn how to live in the moment. Today is the present, and I'm going to use it as a gift. And I'm going to remind myself that my job today is to learn how not to repeat the mistakes of yesterday. I've made some mistakes in my past, but I'm not going to allow those mistakes to define me. I'm on my journey to making the rest of my life the best of my life. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to come clean with myself. I'm going to have to come clean. And that's why I teach you have to spend some time with yourself. Now, when you spend time with yourself, you're not doing that to beat up yourself. You're doing that to become more aware of yourself. And the more you know of yourself, the more you can do the work on correcting the areas of your life that needs to be corrected. As I close this morning's session out, I want you to know this. You are so much more than what you have become accustomed to claiming as you. Write that down. I am so much more than what I have become accustomed to claiming. Well, coach, I'm not good with money. Well, I've just never been good with working in a group. I've never been a leader. I've never been a spokesperson. People will tell you I've always been short-tempered. That's what you have owned up to this point. That's what you have owned up to this point. Now I'm here to declare, whom the Son set free is free indeed. You got to tell yourself, how's that working for me? Claiming that I can't speak up for myself, how's that working for me? Claiming I'm not good with money, how's that working for me? Claiming that, I don't work well with a group. Claiming that I'm not a leader. Claiming that I'm just not disciplined. I'm not a morning person. You are whatever you need to be by the power and the gifting of God that's been placed within inside of you. Only you can stop you from being who you were purposely created to be. If you don't ever claim your rightful place in the earth, you will never be who you were created to be. So every day I am becoming. Let's all declare that. Every day I am becoming. I'm learning to become a better version of me. Oh, but what do people think? I don't care what people think. It's all about what I know in God. And God is helping me to correct what has been messed up for a long time. I am not continuing to make the same mistakes moving forward. I'm learning from my mistakes. Every day is going to get better because I'm going to pay more attention, because I'm on a mission to living life effectively. Nothing missing, lacking, or broken. I love you guys. Have an amazing, incredible day. Enjoy this weekend to the fullest. I will see all of you guys in our exclusive group coaching community. Next week, we kick off a new series. It's going to be good, y'all. You don't want to miss it. Bye-bye. Next week, we're going to be diving into the subject on how and what to do when it comes to investing in yourself. Have a great day, everyone.